Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Come on in, come on in. I'm still, kind of riding the wave. I don't know about you guys, but if you didn't attend the master class, then man, you missed magic. So come on in. It's time for Wealthy You Wind Down, and we're doing a master class recap tonight. So if you attended the master class, I'm going to be asking you about what your takeaways were. If you didn't attend the master class, then you're going to be able to get in the know. And big announcement. We don't want to leave anybody out because I'm telling you, the nuggets that were dropped on Saturday were awesome. I mean, they were so awesome. I was taking notes and I was trying to interview folks. So come on in. It's time for Wealthy You Wind Down. As you're coming in, let me know. Let me give you a shout out. So tell me where you're coming, where you're from. And so I can give you a shout out. What city are you from? What are you up to? And good evening. I see Valerie McCall is in the house. Welcome, Valerie. Welcome. Kay Lloyd is here. And I love it because you guys are following instructions so that I can see who you are. So I'm really excited about sharing with you. For those of you who didn't attend, if you're wherever you're watching us from, whatever platform, I'm going to give you an overview, give you some insight into what went down on Saturday. So, by the way, if you have a friend and you know they need to be here for Wealthy You Wind Down, I want you to tag them. Tag them, invite your friends because, man, if you attended the master class, you know that I think the most amazing part about our master classes are the women of Wealthy You coming in and really sharing their insights. So I'm going to let these numbers get up just a little bit. Call your friends, tag your friends, tell them they need to find out what's going on in Wealthy You Wind Down this evening. I'm telling you, Saturday was all fire. And if you didn't attend, I'm certainly going to be breaking it down for you. So, good evening, everyone. It's Wealthy You Wind Down, and you know what that means. That means that you need to go and find your favorite glass of vino, your favorite adult beverage, or if all you're drinking is water, that's okay too. That's okay too, because on Wealthy You Wind Down, we're really here to break it down, and to share with you all things about wealth, because wealth is not just about money. Wealth really is about the ability to fully experience life. You know that things are taken care of. You no longer have to worry because you've already paid into the future, into your future, so that you're able to take care of any type of circumstance, and so that you're able to live your dreams. So come on in. Good evening, everyone. As you come in, let me know where you're from so I can, everybody likes to talk about what city they're from. In the chat, let me know. Do you guys know where my hometown? What is my hometown? Tell me what my hometown is for those of you who know me. Put it in the comments or the chat. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Deborah Owens. I'm America's Wealth Coach, and I am founder and CEO, where we help Black women build their first investment portfolio to 7 figures and beyond. And we have several ladies doing just that. If you were watching the Legacy Wealth Masterclass that we held on Saturday, then you know there were plenty of people sharing that they hit milestones, and it may have been that 6-figure milestone, it may have been that multiple 6 figures, it may have been 7 figures, but that's what Wealthy You is about. We're about helping you accelerate your financial growth. It doesn't matter where you start. We've had people at negative thousands of dollars And now they're at 6 and multiple 6. So if they can do it, you can do it too. So let me see in the chat. Carol says, Detroit, Valerie, that's right. You know, Detroit, Motown girl. So let me know where you hail from so that I can give you a shout out. So what am I buzzing about? I'm buzzing about the Legacy Wealth Masterclass. What I want all of you to know is that the master classes really are designed to expose our WealthyU members to all things wealth. And so we cover the gamut. If you've attended any of our master classes, you know that we talk about health. We talk about burgeoning asset classes like Bitcoin. As we did yesterday, we talked about estate planning. We had some heavy talk yesterday too about mental health and mental wellness, because we really take a holistic approach to health. We look at it from the standpoint of financial wellness and the whole woman, because we know when you are at your best, you can perform your best and you can create the kind of value and then the life that you desire and that you deserve. So come on in. We're talking all things legacy wealth. So let me just set the stage for all of you. Now, one of the things I shared during our Legacy Wealth Masterclass was when I attend events and conferences, and I'm a part of a couple of masterminds, one of the things that I make sure that if I'm going to invest my time, if I'm going to invest my money, that I can come away from that event with two things that I can implement. And the other thing, so I want all of you to get there in the chat. Let me know, for those of you who are here, how many of you actually attended the masterclass? That's what I want to know. How many of you actually attended the masterclass? If you did, let me know in the chat. Okay, perfect. Yes, our ambassador Virginia was there. Let's see. Lita Scruggs was there. She said, great information. That's right. So here's what we're going to do tonight. Lita says this is her first class. Well, I got to tell you, Lita, every class we say, and the team will tell you, I'll say, I think that was our best master class ever. And you know what? I feel the same thing about this one. How many of you feel like this class just was like, it was on point, it was timely, the women were flawless? Excellent. So Sharon Jones says, I was there. Felicia Ford Rice says, yes. Oh, and by the way, I didn't make my toast. So I told everybody to go get their favorite glass of vino. And so let me make our toast, because we're going to talk about wealth. We're going to drink a little wine. We're going to, I'm going to age myself, do a little dance, drink a little wine. It's wealth tonight. It's wealth tonight. No. So toast to everyone. By the way, I'm drinking I'm drinking a red blend tonight. So thought I'd change it up tonight, change it up a little bit. So anyhow, okay, so we're talking about the Legacy Wealth Masterclass. And so for those of you, that's right, tag folks that you know need to be here, because we're going to break this down. And I also want to let you know that many of you applied to the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, and you still have to till tonight to join. So if you apply and you came to our training, don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on this, because tomorrow is one of our excellent, we're doing our tax sprint. That training is going on tomorrow night. So you want to get in. Listen, we have women in the class, the members in the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, They be texting me and making little messages like, "We on for tomorrow night. I got a question I want to ask," because we're really taking it to the next level. And the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, I'm so excited about it because sort of like I go full circle. For those of you who don't know, and I guess I should kind of talk a little bit about my background. So, for those of you who aren't in the WealthyU community that you know. So, I'm Deborah Owens. I'm America's Wealth Coach. I'm founder of WealthyU. And I spent 2 decades in the investment industry. And a part of that time really was working with the ultra wealthy. And I mean, I was just so what do I mean? I was just in awe, right? In awe because didn't even know this world existed. I mean, I knew there were wealthy people, but I didn't know that, people from all walks of life really became wealthy by gaining access to this knowledge. And so I spent most of my career with Fidelity Investments, went on with some other financial services institutions. But what I learned at Fidelity is what I wanted to tell the world. And it wasn't until I left the industry and launched WealthyU that I realized that, when I was an advisor, I was a financial consultant. I went on to be a branch manager, vice president. Then I went to manage the West Coast, the marketing aspects of the West Coast for Fidelity. And then I came back here and opened up the Prototype Investor Center. And what I didn't know, I just, as I, rose in the organization, I was responsible for recruiting and training and growing our investor centers, our business. And in those investor centers, we would sit down with people from every walk of life, and we would educate them on what their options are. And then we would help them put together a strategy and invest. And I just assumed that that's what happened every day at investment companies. And you want to know something? What I didn't realize was that the industry itself had gotten so focused on assets under management that if you don't come to the table with a certain level of investments, if you don't come to the table with a certain level of assets, then you don't get access to any of those strategies, right? You don't get access. People don't teach you how to really choose investments that are performing at a level that are high performers. They don't really talk to you about tax advantaged opportunities. A lot of the things that, I actually started at Merrill Lynch, if I were to really say where I did start, right? And so, fast forward, launched WealthyU in 2015. And it wasn't until I started coaching and actually looking into people's portfolios, helping them educating them about how to analyze and research their portfolios, that I didn't realize that you literally cannot walk into one of these investment companies and they actually sit down with you and give you a sense of what your options are. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you had to have like $1 million in assets before you got access to any of that information. So after a few years of really coaching and gaining more insight into just the challenges that people are having, and just simply understanding what they have. How many of you have had that experience? In the comments, let me know. I'm going to try to look at some other platforms as well. How many of you have had that experience where you've reached out to an investment company and said that you want some assistance, and you were probably told to go on the website or get on the phone, but you really didn't get access to any kind of coaching or counseling or anything. Has that happened to you? In the chat, let me know. So I say all that to tell you that's why I launched WealthyU. Really to give particularly Black women, and I understand that, Elaine, you did it, you have twice and no one ever got back to you. Now, I just think that is a tragedy. And let me tell you why that's a tragedy. Because every day, a woman of color, brown, Black, not only a woman, but people want access to, they reach out for assistance. And because they are looked at, not viewed as high net worth potential, they're relegated into low performing investments, either these what do I want to say, life cycle funds, target date funds. I try to block them out of my mind. That's why I can't remember the name of them. But and even then I thought, oh, well, target date funds, they're good. At least people can do something. And then as I started helping people really evaluate what was in those target funds, lo and behold, a lot of the low performing funds were put into those target date funds. And so the reason that I launched WealthyU, I created WealthyU, was to give people access to the same knowledge that the ultra wealthy have. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because now here's the most significant insight that I've had in the past year. And it's that access, right, and knowledge of how to those strategies, right, of that secret 1%, that knowledge is inherited, right? Like if you didn't have someone in your family with knowledge of that competency, right, or either that access to private banking, family offices, and that sort of thing, then you never get those opportunities. And so that is the asset, the most valuable asset you could have, is the knowledge of how to build generational wealth. Agree or disagree with me? Agree or disagree with me? Agree or disagree with me, ladies? Do you agree that the knowledge of how to build wealth, is inherited or comes from a family member? You agree? Do you agree with that? And so that's why master classes are so important, because what you are getting exposure to is that insight, right? But not only are you getting exposure to the insight and the knowledge, but you're also seeing how, when that knowledge is applied, how it fundamentally changes the financial trajectory of the people who have access to it. So, we can go into the conversation around the systemic barriers that we have, the redlining, the fact that our homes don't appreciate the same ways as our counterparts. The fact that, we had Minda Harts there, and she talked about racial trauma in the workplace and how racism kills careers and how it prevents us from achieving the level of financial success, earning the type of income that we want to, that we should, specifically based on the kinds of investments that we've made in our education. Many of you have multiple degrees, and you bought into, and I did too, Don't get me wrong. I did too. I got multiple degrees too. So bought into, right, the fallacy that career, college, the more education, career, the more you were going to earn. How many of you felt were given that financial success roadmap? I was. No question about it. I was. How many of you were told that student loan debt was good debt because it would allow you to earn more money? How many of you were told that? Okay. Am I walking down your street? All right. Who's there? Okay. Loletta says, I only got the first part of the master class and it's inspired me. Well, guess what? All of you who attended the master class got an email today. So check your email because you have access to the replay, to the remix, to the replay. That's right. So now you can, and the workbook is included. So now you can really go in to each of those conversations, complete the exercises, right? And apply. Now that's really, I just took you guys around the circle and I know I did because the point that I was about to make, okay, the point that I was about to make, I know I'm in your driveway, right? Is that the master class is designed for you to take that information and apply it, right? Mindset, strategy, execution. Right? So here's what I want you to know is that yes, you were given a financial success roadmap. That map really didn't lead you to generational wealth. What it really did was teach you how to be an earner, how to earn an income, spend your expenses during their lifetime, and literally there be nothing left over after you've gone. Right? That's what I want you to understand. You know, I said that the blueprint, the roadmap was obsolete to some degree because remember, our parents, for those of them that worked for a corporation, who got the benefit of working for a corporation and got a pension, their pensions basically carried them throughout their retirement. But again, you know what? When you're finished with that pension, zip, that pension is gone, right? Like when you die, the pension goes too. Or if you're married, you can certainly do joint life. You can do joint life and then your spouse, so you get a little less, and then your spouse until they die. But it's not really designed to create generational wealth. You guys get that? Tell in the chat. Let me know. Do you understand where I'm going? Like the financial success roadmap that we were given was not designed to create generational wealth. Now, the reason that is so important is because then, you know, like our counterparts, I was just talking with someone and they were talking about they were at a bat mitzvah and they were, you know, they're the Jewish people, they when their kids, I think when they turn, rather than throwing a sweet 16 and, you know, spending a lot of money, the whole family comes and they come with gifts and many times those are monetary gifts. And so a significant amount of dollars are then set aside as they grow, as they go on, matriculate through college, and then get married. They have assets and they have inherited wealth. And so the reason that is so important is think about the other side of that. The other side of that, if you're coming out of school, if you have significant student loan debt, you have to delay purchasing that first home, right? So I'm, I'm just talking about the systemic uh, uh, um, ramifications of not having inherited wealth, right? And then let's say you get into corporations, you start earning money. If you don't know how to fully leverage what I call your opportunity levers, your investment opportunity levers, then time gets away on you, and then you lose a significant economic advantage. What I want you to understand is, although the systemic issues are there, just in terms of our homes don't appreciate as much, amount of student loan debt. The thing I want to tell you, that the antidote for all of it is the knowledge of how to build wealth, and that's where I'm putting my stake in the ground. Because one of the things that I have seen over and over again in this community is the power and the impact of that knowledge. And so many of you are on today, you're in the WealthyU community. How many of you are better off today because of what you've been learning in WealthyU? What has been the impact? And I don't mean just economic, because that's one of the things that we talked about in the Legacy Wealth Masterclass. And that is that when you can give your family and your children the knowledge of how to build wealth, whether it's through investing in the financial markets, whether it's investing in real estate, the confidence that it sets them up for, right? That's what I want you to understand. And it's that with WealthyU, it's not the money, it's the mission, right? And the mission is to give you access to the knowledge that you basically have been prevented from having, because it's only been available to the exclusive few, or to others who have gotten that information and then brought it to their family, and now their family has benefited from it. And so that's what I want you to understand. And that's why the master class was so important. So getting back to the original point that I was going to make, and that is the reason why I want to do a replay and a recap tonight. And by the way, if you did not attend the master class, we now have the replay available. So let's make sure we put the replay link up, so that if you want to get in on the amazing amount of magic, and that's what I said to the team after the day. I said, this masterclass was magical. And so to that end, what I'm asking all of you to do, those of you who are attending, and if you're watching this on replay, here is what I ask of you. It's something that I do every time I attend a training or a conference, is I make sure that I don't only take notes, because how many of you take notes and took notes on Saturday? I take 2 actionable items that I think can make the greatest impact, right? I want you guys to get this, is that we spend a ton of time figuring out how that run a show goes. You guys got to meet my husband, and he just makes sure all of that is just minute by minute, right? We make sure that all of the content is cohesive. We invest a lot of time, energy, and talent so that we can create that experience, right? So that is the investment. We brought you a New York Times bestseller to do the keynote. And so for a very, very economical price, and For those of you who are in the WealthyU Society or Legacy Wealth Accelerator, that is a part of that comes with your membership. So membership has privileges. And I can tell you unequivocally that for the type of content we delivered on Saturday, I have paid thousands of dollars for that benefit in the past. But we want to make sure it's accessible because that's the point. Do you guys get this? That's the point. In order for you to get access to that kind of insight, that kind of information executed at that level, you would have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for entry, right? And so the whole point of it is to be very deliberate and very thoughtful about the kind of information we want you to have access to. And it's not just whatever's the flavor of the week, right? Like we are really thinking of it from the standpoint of legacy wealth, right? That is why the class is called Legacy Wealth Masterclass, because it's insight that's going to give you the kind of knowledge that you can begin to think about the decisions that you're making and creating legacy wealth. Okay? So, what I ask of you, what I want to hear from you this evening is in the comments, I want you to put the 1 or 2 top things that you are going to act on from that masterclass. And I want you to look at it from the lens of what will make the most impact. Okay, so in the comments, for those of you who attended the masterclass, what were the two insights that you gained, strategies and tactics that you now are going to apply? So in the comments, let me hear from you, ladies. A lot of you went, and I shared with you. Now, for those of you who are in the WealthyU Society, we had strategic advisory last night. I mean, literally, we have not stopped since last week. We had WealthyU Wind Down. We had the Legacy Wealth Accelerator Trainer. I mean, this train has been rolling. But in strategic advisory, there was something that I shared with all of you, and I'm going to share it for the open, kind of the total community. And that is when I attend any event that I am looking at. You can have a lot of things. You heard a lot of stuff on Saturday, right? And a lot of it was great information, but there's only a couple of things. What you want to find is the 2 things that are going to make the greatest impact, right? So it's not about being busy. That's what I want you to understand. It's not about being busy, right? It's about being strategic. So many of you feel, I know how you feel because I've been there too, right? Felt like I was just on this treadmill, couldn't get off, getting anywhere that I wanted to go. Wasn't going backward, wasn't going forward. But if you want to really, really begin to see growth, you're going to begin to execute on the things specifically that will make the greatest impact. And here's the other secret. Typically, the things that are going to make the greatest impact, have the greatest impact, they are going to take significant effort. And so that's why you don't want to do a lot of things, right? You want to do the things that are going to lend the most weight to you achieving whatever your ultimate goals are. Now, I hope that's making sense. So in the chat, that's what I want to hear from you. So let's see. I now have a roadmap to follow in order to build my wealth and generational wealth for my family. The information on estate planning was priceless. I totally agree with that. I can't see who that was, but I would love for you to put your name in that or either accept the information so that we can see your name. Carol says, estate planning and building my financial team. That's absolutely right. Nobody accomplishes anything of any significance on their own. So if you want to really, really go to the next level, you want to be in the right circle and you want to have the right people on your team. Let's see. I need to build a team and I need to set up a will and trust. That's right. So you need to. So you need to do that. So if you remember, and for those of you, let me just be clear, for those of you who did not attend, the replay is available for less than it'll cost you to go out to dinner, right? So and you're going to get significant wisdom out of this. And the workbook is also included so that you can have a similar experience and go through the exercises that all of the women went through so that you can really begin to see how all of this information is specific to you. Excellent. And so now I just want to, for those of you who didn't attend, I want to just give kind of like a replay. And so really we started out the day with Dr. Heather Alexander, who was amazing. She's a dear friend of mine, and she is also a mindfulness instructor and really set the tone for the day. And why that's important is because with all the things that are going on with social media, and I was just talking with my husband about this today, it's like I just have to turn it off, right? Like I don't need to hear that. That's not giving me the energy that I need. So you need to be in the right mindset. And her intention was really to get us in that wealth mindset, that mindset of abundance and growth. And then I started out by just sharing the 3-part legacy wealth framework, which is really what I want to give you all. For those of you who didn't attend, just a snippet of this, because certainly the members in WealthyU have been exposed to this, but it's foundational to the work that we do in WealthyU. And let me just bring up that 3-part that 3-part framework. It really is mindset, strategy, as execution. So of course, we started out with mindset because so much of that mindset reflects right back to the point that I was saying, that roadmap that we were given. It was the income earner mindset. And so we need to make the shift to the wealth mindset. And that's what we spent a great deal of our time on. But we didn't only spend our time on mindset. Next, we went to strategy. And all of the WealthyU goal models that you saw really demonstrated how this mindset strategy for this legacy wealth framework worked in their own life and accelerated their financial growth. Strategy is about identifying what your opportunity levers are. And when it comes to wealth, certainly investment opportunities are, and they're different for everybody. So in WealthyU, you learn how to identify what your investment opportunities levers are, how to analyze, optimize, and maximize it. The members of WealthyU will recognize this, so that you can accelerate your financial growth. And then last but not least, mindset, strategy, execution. So the whole point of the WealthyU Society and the WealthyU community, and what became really very instructional and informative for me, is once I stopped doing just wealthy one-on-one coaching and the society came in, and that community, and seeing other women like yourself with the same kinds of challenges, or or to see people moving ahead, and then you want to move ahead and you're inspired, that circle, right? That circle of like-minded women inspire you to do more. And so that really is what accelerates. So those three parts together, right, really are what accelerate the financial growth. That really is the system, right? So mindset, acknowledging that, hey, these things are here. This is how I was trained. I need to shift to the wealth mindset, getting exposure to those high net worth strategies so that you can learn how to accelerate your growth. Then identifying what your specific opportunities are and then executing on those opportunities, right? So mindset without strategy, you'll be thinking, oh, I want to be wealthy. I know how to be wealthy. But if you don't have a strategy, it means absolutely nothing, right? So then you could change that mindset, learn how to analyze and research your mutual funds, learn how to analyze and research your stocks. But if you don't execute on it, means absolutely nothing. So it's really the mindset, strategy, execution. That's a lot of what we went through yesterday, and it really foundationally is the framework for WealthyU. It's what allows us to be very consistent, and also what allows women who come in, apply the system, and then they have the same outcome. And then we judge our own effectiveness based on the ability to move women beyond where they are. Is this making sense to all of you? So what I want you to know is that I feel like we're just doing some amazing groundbreaking work. And the what validates that for me is the success of the women in the community, right? And so why I wanted to do this recap with all of you is so that you can understand the thinking behind it. Like that day was orchestrated specifically to achieve a desired outcome and result, and that is that you would walk away from it having more insight and ready to go to the next level. So who's ready to go to the next level? I guess that's my real question. Because we opened up the Legacy Wealth Accelerator, and that is our higher level program where we're going into tax advantaged real estate, along with the WealthyU Society, but going to that next level. So for those of you who are ready, I'm telling you, you really, really need to apply. And for those of you who attended the training, you know that that membership closes this evening. So I want to make sure that you take full advantage. You don't talk yourself out of it. Listen, if you saw the amount of women, so from Charity, who just hit her first six figures, from Dr. Sharonda, who doubled her investment, to Sophonia, who is, moving far and beyond. She's a contractor as well as owns her own business, is maxing out every investment opportunity lever imaginable. You've seen our WealthyU women go to their first 6, 7, and now multiple 7. And here's all I want to tell you is they're no different than you. But if you want something different, you got to do something different. So I'm inviting you. So you can come to this and you can get this information and you can try to figure it out on your own. But the most valuable asset of all is time. And if you're ready to accelerate your financial growth, then you need to get in on what we're up to. Again, I want to invite you to take advantage and to take advantage of the replay so that you can gain insight into the kind of knowledge about building generational wealth, legacy wealth, right? It's so that you can listen and hear that for yourself. And hey, for the WealthyU Society members, for the WealthyU community, for those women who did attend the event, I want to make sure that you watch that replay and that you're very, very deliberate about going through it and then finding 2 things. I just want you to find 2 things that can make the biggest impact in accelerating your financial growth. So, man, it went a little quick tonight, but I just want to thank you all for coming on WealthyU Wind Down. Again, Legacy Wealth Accelerator is open. The replay is available. It is time, ladies, to go to the next level. And I've been telling my team 2022 is going to be phenomenal. And we want you to be right in this sisterhood with us. So that's going to do it for me this evening. I'm Deborah Owens, founder and CEO of WealthyU, where we help Black women build their first investment portfolios to 7 figures and beyond so that they can achieve financial independence early and experience the kind of financial success they desire and they deserve.